Hello, everybody, and welcome back for yet another episode of Walking to Oblivion and Journey to the Farlands. Bit of a shake up on the intro there. I don't know why, but yeah, it was something different. But yeah, as always, I'm back. I feel like that's every episode. It's just like deja vu, Groundhog Day a little bit, but it's been quite a week. It's been a bit of a busy start, kind of getting acclimated to being in university. So it'll be here and there, I'm sure. The next few months or a while until probably I guess when winter break you got a little bit, and then the summer, depending on whether I take summer classes or not. But yeah, it is an interesting time though, nonetheless, and I'm definitely going to be challenged a lot, taking a bit of a difficult program. So we'll see what happens, especially spending a year out of high school like I did. But yeah, busyness is abound, and journey and everything is kind of down to its bare bones right now. And luckily, I have been able to do journey daily, but I can't promise that going into when courses will actually require you doing a fair bit of work outside of them, which I don't really have to worry about too much right now, considering it's the first week or two. But I know that after like the first 2 weeks or so, it'll probably pick up, and yeah, I'm gonna wanna kind of let everything fall by the wayside to at least have a chance. But yeah, it's a time. And it's kind of what I talked about. I mean, going back a year ago, I've been thinking about it a lot, and it is what I expected. And you got a whole wide range of things going on that are different to high school. But I'm not going to go too deep into that conversation because it's like it's school. I'm here to get away from that. This is like my little like one time of the day, or that kind of thing, where I'm away from school. Although, I guess I also sleep at work. Speaking of work, yeah, I'm still working my job as well, but that'll probably be only on weekends, luckily. We'll see what happens with everything. But yeah, I know the schedule for uploading series is just completely out of whack now. I'm probably gonna reevaluate everything. So expect Journey to be kind of the sole survivor for the time being, and I'll kind of figure out what I'm gonna do going forward. It's gonna be a bit of a trial and error, as expected, with how busy I will be, and even I guess going into a little while. Hopefully, I'm hoping this series doesn't go too far, especially if I manage to make it through the first year. I really want to prioritize school, so I'm hoping that in the time outside of school, I'll be able to get some good progress in Journey and maybe even make it to the Farlands at some point soon. But it'll be kind of a bit of a, what's the term? Bit of a crawl, I guess. The series will kind of creep by now more than ever. But yeah, it's been a few days. I did kind of I got so much to talk about. I feel like there's stuff I didn't mention in the last commentary because it was just so out of the blue, kind of just like someone popped in while I was doing an old commentary, and I was like, oh, I gotta talk and make conversation and stuff. That happens, and my conversation might be a bit more dry when it's just like a no commentary and someone just pops in, because I'm kind of in a different mode. Kind of when I'm in a commentary, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, just talking about whatever. And then when someone just kind of pops in and says hi during an old commentary, I have to turn on the mic and get myself together and all that. So it's a little bit different, the impromptu commentary versus doing what I'm doing right now and what I have been doing for the last 2 years, for the most part, whenever I do talk. But Yeah, some cool developments though. I don't think I've talked about these in a journey episode. Someone, I might have touched on it in my Farland Anniversary finale. Yeah, Farland Anniversary ended, and we reached 800 subs, which was cool. There's the acknowledgement for anyone who's like, you haven't acknowledged it yet. I don't know if there's anyone that you will be like that, but just in case, because I try to do it every 100, and I guess after 1,000 I'll do it a little bit more sparse. But I kind of want to acknowledge it so people like, yay, people have an opportunity to celebrate a bit if they so desire. But what else was I going to say? I've kind of lost my train of thought and going on about that. I was gonna actually lead to something. Oh yeah, the thing I was talking about was someone reaching the Farlands recently. I think I touched on it in the marathon commentary, but another person reached the Farlands Celestial Gaze during my finale that I did, and I was watching that stream. I was active in that stream chat, and it was really cool seeing someone reach the Farlands. Well, I kind of missed the actual arrival, but it was kind of the first person I saw kind of live at the Farlands, like fresh off the the finish line kind of thing. And it was really cool to see and kind of get to chat with someone. And it was strange getting introduced a little, like formally, I guess, introduced into the kind of Farland community, because I didn't quite know how extensive the community was. I kind of had people pop in to my Discord server every once in a while, and they kind of are like, hey, Beam of 4, Farlander, and all such. And people talk and whatnot. There was this one person that pretty much early on in the journey, Sav. Hello Sav, if you end up watching this, if you somehow find your way to this video. I know I talked about you before, so you did kind of pop up then as well. So it could just be like mentioning them. I don't know how it works. Like if it actually like pops up in like someone's feed if someone talks about them. I don't know. But yeah, Sav basically, well, I was just starting off my journey and Sav just started their journey pretty soon after the beginning of my world, and that was kind of one of the first people I kind of went to after the journey had started, because I had already seen like Kill Crazy Man and Fig and Tinfoil Chef and a bunch of people, and Kurt, of course. I'd seen a bunch of people, and that was the first one that I'd seen kind of leave spawn. At least, there are a few. There's too many to count now. There's a lot of people going to the Farlands, which is really cool to see as well. But Sav was someone that I kind of was like, oh, that's cool. Best of luck in your journey. And Sav actually did reach the Farlands, which was really cool. I keep saying that. It is all cool. I think that doesn't need to be said. I think I've already established that. But yeah, that was a okay. I'm just broken recording, as you can see or hear. Sav reached the Farlands. Neat thing. And recently, Sav came back. Kind of been coming and going, and mentioned that Celestial Gaze was reaching the Farlands, which I had never heard of Celestial Gaze before. But apparently it was a pretty long, like an old world, I think a decade-old world. And the journey lasted, I think, a few years. I don't remember exactly how long, because they said that it was 7 years. But I'm not exactly sure how long the journey portion was. Because the neat thing was that this person was actually where I am now, pretty much just beyond where I was now at the beginning of the summer. So they were really, pushing it. Like, that's a lot of commitment for sure. Even more than I got. I definitely like to prioritize other stuff as well. I mean, I work a job, and I guess I'm now going to school. So, my journey is kind of at my pace. But, people can do it really quickly, which is really neat to see. God, I keep saying that. I'm just autopiloting in the discussion. But little or long story short, I got kind of invited to like a Farlander Discord, which I didn't know that was a thing either. Apparently, there is such thing, and it has like Ant Venom, Fig. I think it's Fig's Discord server, like actually Fig's, but it's kind of like the Farlanders server, and they're basically trying to get as many people going or who have gone to the Farlands in one Discord server, which is pretty cool. I'm a part of that, and yeah, a lot of cool people in there. I think the most recent Farlander to go there is Endershower, who just recently joined the Discord, which is I think the Korean YouTuber who went to the Farlands, and I think they're kind of working on getting Kurt in, but I never really thought of. I don't think Kurt really knows about the Farlanding community that much. If he does, I don't think it really is that big of a deal to him. Or if I don't know if I'd say that, but he seems to kind of be fine in his own lane. But if he ends up kind of coming, messaging people from the Farlander Discord, that'd be really cool. It'd be an epic thing to see. But yeah, it's got like Ant Venom, Figonomics, or Figonometry, whatever it is, Bad Fellowship on Twitter, I think. That was the first person to reach the corner Farlands, inspired me to go to the corner. Well, not directly, but then kind of directly inspired the series with the no commentary and the archiving and all that. But yeah, a lot of cool people in that server. There's, I think, Cabrani, Mystical Midget. I know Sav for sure. And Devil Dave, I think, which I think I've talked with that person before in the past. They must have joined my Discord server or something because I recognize the username from somewhere. Or maybe I'm just going crazy, which I wouldn't be surprised with. But yeah, that was a really interesting time. Really, really, really. Just getting introduced to the greater community that I didn't really know existed. I mean, I knew that there were the people that had done it, but I didn't know there was a whole server where they're all kind of collaborated on. They kind of worked on and posted all these memes and such and all that. So yeah, I'm a part of that server now, and I guess whenever I reach the Farlands, I can kind of look and post a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna try and be a little bit active. I've posted a few times already in that Discord. I don't know if it's public. I have no idea how it works. But yeah, I'll probably probably be more active in it than I am my own Discord server. But that's kind of more of a network than anything. But that was neat to see. And one thing I did discover was that the boat bug is experienced by other people. I haven't posted in the Discord server about it exactly, but I did see in one of the chats, I don't know if it was the memes or the general or whatever, but it was Endershower, one of Endershower's, I think the first death was due to a boat. And I guess I just must have been super uber lucky for the beginning of this series. I went, I think, well over a year doing, kind of coasting along like I did. And it only took until, not too long ago that I'd actually start dying to the boats. And it seems to be some kind of fall damage accumulation bug, apparently. I'm not quite sure because these boats are pretty darn archaic, and I'm not surprised they're buggy, as I'll be. But that seems to be their explanation. And that makes sense to me. I seem to be avoiding it by getting out of the boat prematurely. I think it only happens when you hit the shore. There's, some kind of condition there. So I'm just trying to avoid the shore altogether. Just let the boat do the work and explode and whatnot. And not have to worry about losing myself. losing myself in the process, and my stuff, because I feel like losing your stuff is also a big thing in a world like this, because it means I have to go down and get more diamonds. But yes, that is a pretty cool thing, which I just can't stop saying. That's all right. I'll just let it run its course, get it out of my system. Well, no, I had one other thing. Oh yes, this actually has to do with celestial gaze. I go back to that. So there was this bug that celestial gaze encountered when there was a power cut, and it reset the world size. Basically, I think it corrupted all the chunks before where there were, and yeah, corrupted all the chunks. World size was reset. Statistics and achievement menu were reset. Which, if that sounds awfully familiar, and if you looked at the main menu in any of the episodes recently, ever since the power cut that I had, it seems that I've replicated whatever bug it is, and my world has been basically permanently damaged, which is kind of, I guess I could have gone to a backup, which I do take backups, but I don't think I had a backup at the time, like relative enough. I felt like I would have been losing a lot of distance. I only do them every once in a while because it's a very big world. It's still like the size, even though there's like 40 gigabytes worth of kind of faulty chunks. I'd imagine. I think that's how it works, is that they're corrupted, so they're basically just the game doesn't read them. I think that would be how it works. But yeah, I guess that's what the power cut did, and it kind of culled part of my inventory. So it seemed to have done some tampering with the player data. But luckily, I kept my diamonds and I ran through the rest of them, and I did mine some new diamonds. I'm kind of summarizing everything from the end of Farland Anniversary up till now, which I think is fine. But yes. That seems to be the other bug that I have encountered. So that one I can't really avoid. I guess making backups more frequently would be the solution to that, and then I could just go to the day before, ideally. And I think my last backup was before the marathon, which is a long time ago in terms of blocks, so maybe I want to think of making another one. I'm bad with backups. I've said it before. I'm just not good with them. I know like life and death depends on it sometimes. Well, not life and death, but you know, basically my passion project, Journey to the Farlands, or the new craft server, they're both things that could be lost. You know, I'm not completely, like, I'm not stupid. Like I know how corruption works, and I know that things corrupt and data can be lost, and you know, things happen. Things happen with anything computer wise. I guess anything in general, but I'm talking about computers. Things generally happen and stuff can be lost, and you kind of just have to deal with it. If you don't have a backup, you're just like where I was, SOL, having to basically try and figure out where to pick up where you left off, which has happened many times. Once. I completely lost the world once. And I've died so many times, probably over a dozen, maybe even more than that. I'm not a very good survivalist, nor am I a good computationalist. I don't know. I'm not very good with backups and things. I feel like I suffer from the fatal flaw of living in the present and being able to only plan so far ahead. I guess that's maybe something that's common to a lot of people, or if not everybody. So I guess some people are able to plan like a while in advance, but you can only really rationally do so much because stuff's gonna happen, stuff's gonna change that you didn't anticipate, and we're just not the kind of creatures to plan like that. I guess you can get better at planning, and I've certainly improved a bit. I'm still working on that for school, trying to avoid spending multiple hours on the same thing and just trying to speed up my process. But I think it's just been a bit of getting reacquainted with some things. Like a lot of my subjects are math heavy and science heavy, and it's going to be a bit of a thing getting that stuff back. Because I guess the last class I did take before January was, I think, physics and a few others, but physics was kind of the main one that is applicable. But I hadn't taken math in over a year now. And you do a little bit of math and physics, yes, but not quite the level of math I'll probably be doing here where I am. But that kind of thing, where I'm still kind of getting acclimated to that. Like I thought of things I could do that would smooth the process, but then I was like, oh, it's fine. I can learn then. Yeah, I'm learning now, but it's a tricky process. Certainly ruffles the feathers a little bit. Trying to get yourself back on your feet. So I guess I'm kind of, that's kind of a thing that happens a lot, is I kind of work too much in the present, or like the short term, and then the long term kind of falls apart. Although, let me know if that's a thing you guys deal with as well. It could be just a general common thing, because I feel like I've heard that before, where like the short term is the big kind of the thing. We can only really plan in the short term, realistically speaking. We only really think in the short term, or the present, that kind of thing, or a little bit of the past. But yeah, that's that whole discussion. And I did find out what kind of, I guess, run I would be doing in Journey here, because I guess there's different types of runs that you do. I didn't know of such a thing as the Farlanders Bible or whatever it's called. All like the rules of journeying to the Farlands. There's a lot. I guess there's supported mods and stuff. I use like a few mods. I think I have. Do I still have beta tweaks? But I don't really use beta tweaks. I disabled most of the stuff from that mod. But I wasn't really the most conscientious of it because I didn't know it existed. So it's a bit touch and go with what I have and have not done according to that. I'm not really going by that. I'm kind of just doing whatever however I want to enjoy it, which I think is how everyone should do their Minecraft worlds instead of following a general rule set. It is a challenge, yes, but I don't know. I'm just trying to, it's my world here. That's kind of where I'm at. I know a lot of people get really kind of caught up in the placement as well, like who's reaching the Farlands when and all this stuff. And it's definitely fun to get lost in that, but it's just not for me. All the placements that being like, oh, the third person, the fourth person, the fifth person, sixth person. Like, it doesn't really matter who gets there when. It's just about the journey itself. Oh, hello, spider. Here to spoil my fun of rambling about journeyness. You could call that like the easy way out, being like, oh yeah, you're just avoiding it now. But it's not that big of a deal to me. But yeah, going back to that whole run thing and the whole Farlanders Bible and all that, I kind of just was like, oh, okay, but I guess this would be what you'd call an intermediate, intermediate, whatever it is, because I use the Nether a little bit. I guess any use of the Nether makes it intermediate instead of just no overworld, which makes sense because I have gone to the Nether, I think 3, 4, 5 times. Only I think 2 or 3 times to actually speed up the journey a little bit. So yeah, I have done that. What else? Lost the World. that happen, and I had to basically create a new world, teleport myself back where I left off, which I'm sure to a lot of you guys would maybe be like, seem like a no-no, or even like the Farland, whatever, the council or whatever. It seems like a no-no, but I was facing basically, because, well, I lost the hard drive that had all my backups and everything, and, you know, like I said, I'm bad with the backups. And it's like, and a lot of what they kind of suggest for backups is like having it on a different, you know, hard drive altogether, and which I do now. But the other thing was like doing like a memory, like an external. But that's too much. that's too much because I have other things, but it's not really, it's valuable to me, this world, but I don't know if it's valuable enough to actually have to put it onto an external drive, like backups and stuff. I already got it on a separate drive. I guess if I lose the computer, you can still salvage data though. But yeah, going back to the world, the lost of the world. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, you reset the world and teleport yourself. That's cheating. You know, you've cheated. But in my eyes, I don't really see it that way because I basically, it's the same world to me. Like, I don't really see any distinction. Yeah, I had to get my stuff back, which I think is fair enough because I didn't want to give myself anything. And whenever I died, you know, I just accepted it if I lost my stuff, if I couldn't get back. I usually would try to get back to my stuff, but you know, if I died and the 5 minutes are up, even if you're out of the chunks, it seems that items still despawn. So yeah, I just dealt with it so I've had to go diamond mining numerous times, and then I've, you know, done my diamond strikes when I lost diamonds so much, which those are a thing, just be out of frustration of deaths and losing my minerals and all that. But yeah, I was like, oh, you're cheating because you reset your world and teleported yourself with single player commands. And yeah, I guess that's not that's not really that good in terms of legitimacy. I'm not really going for legitimacy here. It's kind of gone into the toilet anyway. But I've walked the blocks. I can tell you, I've got the data for it. I've got my notebook. I've got the digital archive. I've got the screenshots. I wouldn't, you know, fabricate months and years worth of screenshots. This is a very honest, legitimate project, like for me. And I did what I wanted to do to keep the series going. It would have ended, and I would have just been another attempt. I don't think I would have, even if I restarted, I don't think I would have made it back to where I was, even at that time that I lost the world. Just because I feel like there's a certain novelty to it right now, and if I restarted it, I'd lose a lot of momentum, and the series would kind of really fall back. Which maybe that would have been the smart decision to reset and kind of have a full 100% archive, legitimate world run. But I could always do that at another point if I really want the clout or the certificate or whatever you get. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's not enough of a deal for, you know, all that. Like, especially, you know, I did a lot of these mistakes before I even knew of these rules. I kind of discovered them after I did the stuff. And I kind of knew that resetting the world was kind of a weird thing to overcome because I made backups recently at that time and then I just lost the world altogether. But yeah, I wound up right back where I left off, and I got brand new stuff, continued as if it was the same world, and it really has been the same world. I had some hiccups, of course, from losing my instance and all the mods. I remember that. But I did what I could, and if that meant the difference between reaching the Farlands or not for me, that was kind of what it was down to, and I asked pretty much everybody that was involved with Journey at the time, which was Devin and Cherry. They've kind of popped in, of course, in episodes here and there. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do with this world. I was kind of at the Journey. The series was at its lowest around episode 200. That was when I accidentally, basically the story was accidentally wiping the hard drive when I was trying to move stuff around, move a bunch of files and things. I accidentally wiped a hard drive using some software. And later, I didn't realize it immediately, and then later on, I was like, oh, that's no good. And yeah, I lost a bunch of stuff. It wasn't just Journey, it was a bunch of things, a bunch of backups and things of various worlds I had, which sucked. But I just kind of moved on. I could have recovered the world, I guess, brought it into like a tech repair shop or whatever. I didn't feel like doing that. I didn't want to, have to go through that because I built my own PC and stuff. I didn't really know if they were gonna actually fix it. I feel like you'd have to bring in a computer that they sold to you for them to fix, but I don't know. Maybe they would fix one that is custom. Anyway, it just was like I could do that, and I tried bringing the world back, and I just kind of lost hope, and I was just like, do I really want to? That would have been an easy way to get it back, but I was just kind of a little bit low on hope, and I was just like, I don't even want to deal with it. And I think I took a few days after losing the world, and I was just kind of like in this state of, what am I gonna do? I've lost this world I played for over a year and like almost a year and a half at that point. I think it was about a year ago now, actually. I think it was October, because it was just after the Citadel that it happened, I think. If I remember correctly, or maybe the Citadel was the first outpost I did since then. Might have been earlier even. But yeah, I was just like, well, what do I do? Where do I go from here? And I asked them, and I basically presented some options, and they're like, well, you could restart, but there's no real guarantee that I'm going to get back to where I was, because like I said, I don't really know where I would get motivation wise. How it would be different. I might be able to salvage it and make the crawl, but it wasn't. I didn't really see that as an option. I guess it was, but it wasn't really something that I was like, I wasn't really too keen on it. And I think the clearest thing was just to bring myself back out. So yeah, but I guess if that does illegitimize the run, which I think is kind of weird. I mean, I understandable, but is legitimacy really what I'm after at the end of the day? I'm kind of here to archive my journey, and it's legitimate to me. That's kind of what I said earlier, is that it's legitimate to me, because I've walked the blocks. There was no real gaps. I guess there was technical error that happened, but that was out of my control. Well, I guess the backup thing, but I expressed the whole backup debacle about how I'm just bad with backing things up. So yeah, it's kind of me, kind of technical difficulty, but hey, I walk the blocks. And in the kind of thing of illegitimacy, there's like a whole million of this series missing, pretty much. Basically up until episode 13 of Journey is kind of scattered across, the 12 episodes I did before that were kind of had that no commentary in between them, and the whole no commentary period in the beginning of the world. So it's all kind of stuff I've talked about, kind of bringing it all into one episode so you can kind of see everything. And maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you're like, oh, you cheater, I'm not watching your series anymore. But hey, I still have made the attempt and kind of defied the odds. All the curveballs this world has thrown at me, and my computer has thrown at me. And I guess the most recent thing was the power outage, the power cut, which I think happened before in Journey, but it didn't seem to do anything quite like this. This was the first time that it happened that it actually damaged things. But it kind of requires either reverting to a backup, which I didn't have a very recent copy of, or I just continued with it. I didn't really care about the world size or anything, because I'd already lost I think the original world, season 1 up until 200 was, I think, 50 gigabytes. You can actually, I guess, go to 199. I could go to that right now and end the whole, you could go here and to do this. No one's going to do that. I can just do it myself. Let me see. Usually I show it at the beginning of every episode, so I would be able to see the kind of the last major bit. So yeah, the world size up until episode 199. Let me take a look here. Yeah, about a year ago. Wow, that was a real time for the world. Let me quickly take a look at the video to see where the world size was, because I'm curious. I actually want to see what the world size is. Whoa, it kind of just flashes at the beginning. 48.849 megabytes. Wait, no, 48,849. Big difference. Big difference. And then there's a 0.92. So there's that. I guess I can write that down and give you a total world size if you want. If you would like. 48,849.92. And it's in the video and it climbs up. You can even go back to the earliest episodes and see it climb up. So it's that also, I guess, is a testament to the series. And what about the next kind of point, which was the power cut, the power outage? I don't know what I would have called it. Oh, I guess 111 sand, I think. That was when I had 111 sand in one slot. That was weird. That was one of the weird byproducts of the power outage. Very strange. Oh, it was day 20. I think it was that was day 26. It would have been day 25. Power anniversary is nice and easy. Because it's in days instead of episodes. Not as many days as there are episodes in the Journey playlist. So yeah, 7 million. It's kind of approximated because I don't exactly know how big the world was. There's like hours and hours worth of content. Some afterwards for some. Wonder if I go back through the menu at all. I think I just try to stay. I think around the 3-hour mark, I would usually restart my computer. I think I still have to do it pretty much every 3 hours. Just a hard limit with the RAM. I do have more RAM, but it doesn't seem to let me allocate more. Like I've tried allocating more, but it doesn't seem to make a difference, is what I mean. Okay, well I'll just do it from the beginning of the episode. That's okay. So this is just about a month ago. That was a month ago, wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, 36,000. Wow, I almost made it the same distance in the world size. 36,182.15 megabytes. And then today, we can actually use this number. 7,089.33. And then I can add them all up with my handy dandy little calculator that is definitely not going to be the bane of my existence when I'm not able to use it. Well, I guess it's the opposite. Not being able to use the calculator would be the bane of my existence. The calculator is a godsend. Let me add them all up, crunch the numbers. And you'd expect me to do this before the episode, but that's never the case. 92,121.4 megabytes. In case anyone was wondering, the actual size of the world, that is the actual size. Roughly, it's approximated. 100,000. Basically 100,000. It's a bit of an overshot. It would probably be more like 93. I don't even know if it would be 1,000 megabytes that I'm missing. It's probably a matter of a few hundred, which is pretty good for inaccuracy, because there's some hours of content that isn't accounted for in that number because the world getting deleted. You're not really seeing the world size before the world getting deleted, because that episode wrapped up and then it was kind of outside of the episode. It was kind of that day that I came back that I was like, oh, when I went to do an episode, I was like, oh, it's missing. But 92,000, I'm going to write that down, 92,121.4 megabytes. Or 92 gigabytes. Gigabytes. 92 gigabytes. I know that's no one says something like that. Although I guess I'm back to feature, they say gigawatts. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny, kind of cool. God, I'm just so repetitious today. But there's an actual world size. And if you're looking for an actual episode count, I think accounting for all of the Farland anniversary and the megasodes and everything, I think we are at, let me see here. Where does it leave me off? I did the math already. The total of all these, 366. I think we're on 371 now, so I guess I can include this episode in that count now. Equals the sum. I guess I hadn't done it already, but I can do it now. I mean, you won't hear my computer giving me all the friggin' errors now, because I've only got Journey going. 453 episodes raw. That, I know we're on 371, but there's a lot of Farland anniversary and minisodes and megasodes. 453. Although I guess the minisodes are kind of, because they're all kind of outside of the world, so I guess I could get rid of the 3. So it's 450. Congratulations. I'm 450 episodes in. And if I were to basically extrapolate the amount of episodes it would have taken me to get to the episode 13, I think it was around 100, which is a nice clean number. I've said that multitude of times because I'm always like, oh, you ever wonder how much content there was before I started doing the commentary and no commentary episodes? That's how much, 100 episodes. So we're around 550 episodes or days worth of episodes, because most episodes are on their own day. Sometimes I do 2, I guess, in a single day. A very journey-centric episode today, I should add. It's a very analytical episode. A lot of fun. I know maybe some of you guys are like, oh, and have already clicked off and are off to the races on some actual, I guess, more meaningful content. But hey, I think I'm having a lot of fun commentating about the technical stuff, and maybe the odd person watching will find it interesting. I'm trying to do my best because I started the journey with the intention of not making it a series, and then I ended up making it into a series. So I kind of ate my own foot, or shot my, whatever term you'd use. It's a strange term. I don't really like it, but I guess it does work. Shot myself in the foot. I guess there is a lot of that going on. But I should be able to do, well, I guess I won't do a crazy long episode. I might do another hour of no commentary after this. Just to chillax, maybe a quick break. That's usually what I do after a commentary. Maybe. It's a pretty good episode. I wasn't switching around to various topics. Although, I should say, I mean, I guess I did already note that the other series are kind of by the wayside for the time being. I know Better Than Adventure, all you Better Than Adventure fans are going to be like, oh my god. I don't know if any of them actually flow over to this series, but That's my most popular series, apart from Journey. At least for the length it is, it's probably the best series I've got. Well, it kind of plateaued, but everything plateaus at some point. That seems to be how it operates. Unless it's just something that's just the best thing ever and it's constant attention. But yeah, Better Than Adventure is kind of, that's probably the one I could do the easiest. So maybe on the weekend, I might see if I feel like doing it. Although I was kind of in the mood of wrapping it up anyway, so I might just get those last episodes out. Or last episode or two. And just be done with it and come back to it or something new. I know I've talked about that I want to try out a new mod pack or something or rather, like mango pack or something. But I'll get around to that. Cross that bridge when I get to it, kind of thing. New craft I kind of was returning to, so I'm hoping to do more of that, but it's gonna be touch and go, I think, for a while. I'm probably gonna save you the 10 minutes of me just blathering on about my series because most of them will be the same thing that I can't really do them in the capacity that they were done in the summer now. That's just the plain the long and short of it. That's just not as doable as it used to be. So I'm just gonna have to come to terms and figure out where to go. I'll take my time, I think. You know, a lot of my series are kind of here and there anyway. Journey is kind of the glue to keep everything together. So as long as I keep this relatively good, if I'm able to, then great. I might even lower it to like a few episodes a week rather than every day, because every day might become a bit of a chore with school. But yes, I have been also on a bit of a mend in trying to get my sleeping schedule back in order, and it's been pretty successful. I've been feeling pretty good. I'm a little bit tired right now because long day. Because I have an 8:30 class. I know. I haven't gone to an 8:30 class in years, but now I'm going to them again. It's kind of nice actually going to a class so early because it kind of just, shoots you right awake, and you're kind of shot into a lecture hall early, and it's something to get the blood pumping, I guess, and the brain going early in the day. But yeah, it just means that I get pretty tired around this time now, which I think is nice to have an actual normal sleep schedule, because I feel like the summer really threw me off. So I know it probably, I guess, not as bad as some people. I know some people are probably like, ha, if they actually heard the sleep schedule, which I think was around 2-3 a.m. every night. I know some people are like, that's nothing, staying up all night all the time. But that was pretty intensive for me because for the most part, the latter half, I guess September, up until, I guess, January, I had a reasonable sleep schedule. I guess it kind of went a bit more out of control because grade 12, I was getting a proper sleep schedule. And then grade 13, I kind of just slipped and was just staying up and then waking up. I think it was because I didn't have to go to classes early. That's probably what it was. But yeah, then my sleep schedule got thrown out of whack. I talked about it a lot. And I also mention it pretty much every summer because the summer is when things are most crazy, because I'm the kind of person that actually works the best late at night, believe it or not. But I feel like that might be a bit of like, yeah, sure, you can stay up late and not get tired, but I think I'm pretty productive throughout most of the day, actually. I think the peak for most people is around the middle of the day, maybe even the early to mid. Seems to be for me. Kind of the night now I seem to be more sluggish. But I guess when you're not doing as much, it kind of dissipates and plateaus. Your kind of energy is just kind of at a constant, so you don't get as tired at night. So maybe that's what it is. And I've been the thing I've talking about was quiet time, kind of before bed, because I know you're generally supposed to, I think, avoid screens before bed, and for many years, I have not been doing that. I've been using, looking at the screens before bed and stuff. I know probably a lot of you guys do that as well, but I've been trying to listen to podcasts and just kind of listen to them instead of like watching it on a screen, watching stuff, watching YouTube, TV, that kind of thing. So I haven't really been much into TV lately. Journey is kind of my main thing for that. And I've been pretty busy with my singing monsters. While playing Journey, I've been doing a lot of that with like torch lighting and rearranging my islands because I'm getting a lot of new monsters because of anniversary month and a whole bunch of stuff. So that's been keeping me pretty occupied. I mentioned that I've started watching Joe Hill's season 2 of Hermitcraft, and I might end up just going with that instead of Mumbo because I kind of enjoy I kind of like seeing a server played kind of like how we do our servers, like the new craft server. I feel like there's something neat about a very like being able to see behind the curtain a lot more than like a high production value thing. I love high production value, but it's nice to just get like that raw, more kind of raw, like lightly edited stuff, which I guess no surprise coming from me. Every bloody stream I do now is not not edited in any capacity anymore, unless I have a really bad moment I need to edit out. Then I will if I get sick or something. But I'm really hoping I don't get sick, because then it means a whole bunch of trouble for school. But you can't really predict that, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't really remember where I was. I think I'm just getting a bit of brain fog. That's all. Not quite like COVID, but COVID brain fog was crazy. Don't get COVID, kids. Get your, you'll get COVID. Even though I think it's kind of like the flu and the cold now. It's on that level, I guess, but whatever. But yeah, I was trying to do like do a calculus assignment, and yeah, the brain fog was hitting, the late night delirium. I think it just strikes earlier because of having such a long day. I guess it's basically the same, because if I sleep in, then that's changing my circadian rhythm or whatever. I now seem to be waking up a lot earlier, even naturally without alarms. Although I still wake up with alarms because I don't trust myself to wake up naturally. I feel like that's a bit fair. There's probably a better way to wake myself up. Oh, first yawn, by the way. It was kind of a half yawn, but I always make an effort to mention that on first yawn. In Journey, I guess it's gonna be going back to the evenings. In the summer it would be kind of morning, afternoon, evening, no matter what. I could just do it at any time of day, but now I'm kind of limited. I suppose I could bring Journey with me to school, but honestly, gaming is like the thing I want to do the least in school. It's just an environment, just for me, that I have to be efficient when I'm at school. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But it just feels like that. Maybe not entirely, like I kind of want to relax, but I feel like gaming is just too big of a distraction for school. Like I feel like I wouldn't be disciplined enough to balance that with everything else. It would just become out of balance. Maybe at some point I would consider that, but there's gonna be, tons and tons of work anyway. I'm not gonna have the time to dedicate to that anyway. I hardly have the time right now to put it in the evening. And the reason why why I'm able to stay up late tonight is because I would have labs, but they're not they don't run the first week, so I'm able to do a longer stream. Slightly longer. I'm still gonna go to bed early. Goodness. My schedule has been altered, and now I'm tired and yawning at 11 o'clock. Although I guess sometimes I actually would yawn at like 7 p.m. That depends if I'm doing Journey or not. I was doing a bunch of uh, figuring things out with school at that point, so I didn't do an episode earlier. Guess I could have done a long episode. I think I was hoping to do one, but I liked having that extra time to work on schoolwork instead. I feel a lot more motivated than I did in high school. But I think that's because, like, basically if I'm not on the ball, I'm just gonna fall off the ball. And it's it's a financial thing. It's this whole thing of wanting to succeed and all that natural motivation. I feel like I was just kind of getting by in high school, and then now I'm like really, kicking myself into high gear because I know if I don't, I'm gonna really be wishing or begging begging to differ. And I'm sure even the way I do it now, I'm going to be like, oh, you had the right, you're on the right track, but the wrong strategy and stuff. That'll just have to come with time, though. Optimizing everything and just trying to do things. And there'll definitely be things that are just plain not fair. Life. Fairness. What's fairness anyway? True that, though. True that. That is very true. But yes, lots of change, lots of excitement, lots of apprehension, all the sort. But I'm gonna kind of do what I can. Do what can be done. Because I guess after all, this is still a hobby and is the side gig anyway. The side gig to the side gig. That is work. I guess work is the money, and then school is the knowledge. And this is just kind of the leisure now. Or entertainment or whatever. Fulfillment outside of that. So I guess every once in a while an episode might pop around. Time will tell. I'll probably stop rambling on and on and on about it because there's not really much else to say. It'll just have to play its course out naturally. Yep, I think I might even just wrap things up entirely. I just feel kind of maybe I'll do one more hour. Like I said, I wanted to do another hour. I think I'll just take a quick break, get a little bit refreshed, and then I'll come back with some no commentary. So the commentary folks can leave, or I don't know, whatever happens. I don't really know how it works with people watching the episode, but yeah, I'm gonna mute my mic and go for a bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, that is a wrap on this episode. a good distance today, I think. I gotta open up my journey book to actually make sure I'm not just talking out of my rear. Yeah, pretty good. 17,000 blocks, 2.5 hours. I went an extra half hour. I just felt like going a little longer. I'm very tired, so thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go get some well-needed rest, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alrighty. Goodbye.